Dysfunctional Vet. This is for the IMET class, South Plains College. We have different types of cutters here. We have a PVC cutter right here, which is used for cutting PVC pipe. This will cut up to about a 1 1/4 inch pipe. I prefer using a coping saw for anything larger than that. Although they do make a saw which is specifically made for cutting PVC, you're still going to need to ream that with a piece of sandpaper or a pocket knife. We have this knife right here, which is my utility knife. It's never put away. I never clean it. I just use this for whatever I'm working with. I never even sharpen it that much because again, this knife right here, if I'm working with something and I hit something, I'm not worried about it. This is sort of a sacrificial lamb. When it's completely worthless, I'll throw it away, buy a new one for $1.98. This I want to show you because this is interesting. This is used for cutting branches. Now the reason that I included this is because this is what it's called a bypass. If you watch carefully this rust and the distance between it. If you notice, as it closes, it is bypassing this piece right here. There's also called an anvil cutter, where this jaw will close against that, and we'll discuss that in about 1 second. But this is called a bypass cutter. The larger versions of these are frequently used on larger wire, like say 500 kVA, which you need to look that up and find out what that is. That's huge, huge copper wire when you are running mega amps. Now, this right here is also a bypass cutter. Both of these right here are used for cutting trees, and which is fine. These are considered atraumatic. Now the reason that the electrical industry uses bypass cutters for cutting large cable is because it doesn't damage the cable. It doesn't crimp everything down. It just cuts it clean. Now this is an example of a, if I can get it open, this is an example of a jaw-to-jaw cutter. This is a bolt cutter or chain cutter. You can use this for cutting bolts off of locks, unless you're the lock-picking lawyer, or you can use this for cutting links of chain, which is what I use it for. You put your chain link in there, you squeeze down on it, and it cuts the link, cuts it clean. These are all cutters, a different type. PVC, which is a soft plastic, not recommended that you cut under about 45 degrees, otherwise you'll shatter. You have a knife edge type cutter, which is for cutting things that you would normally cut with a knife. You have bypass cutters. Again, these two are used for tree work or arborist work, but they're an example of what you would see in industry. If you go into a place like Home Depot or an electrical wholesale and they're cutting large cable wire, they're going to use probably a hydraulically driven bypass lopper, and you saw how that worked. And then we have the jaw-to-jaw cutter like this, and there is a cutter like one of these two where the jaw comes down and strikes a plate, and that is called an anvil cutter. Dysfunctional Vet out.